Stop.
It's cool.
We will have no mirth here. This is a mirth-free zone.
Yes, in this comedy podcast. Welcome to the Big Damn Cast. You sons of bitches. I'm Big Damn Chris.
I am Big Damn Matthew.
And you're Big Damn here, which is nice.
Yay!
Welcome. You're listening to us either on SoundCloud, YouTube, or iTunes. Remember, you can also get in touch anytime at Big Damn Cast on Twitter and BigDamnContact@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. We're also the Big Damn blog on Tumblr. But this week, we're Big Damn talking.
Big Damn talking.
Because a lot of our episodes so far are focused on movies or
Yes.
TV shows based on comic book properties. How could they not be about that sort of stuff? It's airware. We're in a renaissance where a lot of people, for better or for worse, are referring to superhero movies as the new Western. Whether or not by that they mean it's a phase or they're a common product, or we're not quite sure what they mean. But let's just be glad that all superhero movies don't star the bloated corpse of John Wayne. So I'm not saying it. I mean, I don't have confirmation that he's bloated.
Corpses tend to bloat after death.
It's either him or the racist talks to chairs grandpa that is Clint Eastwood. So, yeah.
Cleastwood.
Do you think Robert Downey Jr. will be at some kind of political rally in the years to come and he'll yell at a piece of furniture?
Cleastwood or most wood?
That's 10 out of 10 with Cleastwood again. So we had a little thing, because we're in this renaissance.
Yeah.
We're in this Rene, the character from Allo Allo songs.
Renaissance is a strong word.
Well, is it? Come on, like, on average. Because look back to the 70s. You didn't get anything till the end of the decade. Look back to the 80s. You got nothing but shite. Look back to the 90s. You got mostly shite.
Mostly shit.
Look at the 2000s. You got mostly shite, but what was good was good. And then in the 2010s, it's suddenly just been a roll. It's been a roll.
It's been real, kid. It's been real and it's been fun.
It's been real, kid.
But was it all real fun?
But we gotta go.
I've got a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Charles Play quote. The movie about the murderous doll.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's not. Not an actual thing.
I'm gonna murder anyone. Yes. So, I'm setting us a challenge.
A challenge?
This is a back and forth, baby.
Are you inquiring about a challenge?
Yes.
Okay.
I want you and I to try and come up with a comprehensive list of superhero movies that nailed it.
Okay.
However, these are the rules. If you bring up a film...
Superhero or comic book based?
We'll go comic book based, because we can broaden it, but I think the majority of the ones that have hit the nail on the head have been superhero flicks, but we'll see. We have to come up with one each. One by one. We have to be ready to defend that movie, and the other one has to try and dissect what doesn't work.
Alright.
And then we'll decide, through a rule of debate / slap fighting like this, if it actually is a solid comic book movie.
Alright, okay.
Won't accept runny comic book movies, or slightly dribbly comic book movies. So the comic book movies that nailed it.
Okay, alright.
Who would like to go first?
Should we toss for it? First one at Phil Thimble.
Well, for that absolutely disgusting response, you can go first. Whilst I go and vomit into a small bucket.
I believe that the comic book movie which nails it the most is 2010's Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Oh! Okay, now you're a little bit more of an authority on this one because you've read the damn thing.
I have read the damn
thing. I've
thing.
not read the damn thing, but
the movie actually came out before the last volume of the comics came out.
Does it end the same way?
No.
Good, I think. That's kind of interesting.
Well,
it's a Game of Thrones sort of scenario.
Yes, but not quite. It's the same basic ending.
Is there a door?
How they get there is wildly different.
Okay, but that's good though, because that means you get an alternate version of the tale.
And also,
and one informs the other, and the other one informs where the other one will go.
Brian Lee O'Malley was also very involved in the making of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you say, his work on the film then informed his work on the comic. I love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It's a great movie. But unfortunately, I didn't go to see it when it first came out. I didn't see it till it came out on DVD, which is what happened with the rest of the world.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm
Despite
going
it
to
being-
admit my first exposure to it was a word of mouth from somebody after they bought the DVD.
Yeah.
I then bought the DVD.
It failed to recoup its production budget and its theatrical run,
Hot damn!
and it was it's an Edgar Wright joint.
It's sort of it's
So-
Edgar Wright's only, and I use this word loosely. It's Edgar Wright's only flop.
Yeah, which is weird because I think it's probably his best film.
Stylistically,
Like,
absolutely, because he's
it's-
out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, but it is so Edgar Wright though.
Mm.
It's so Edgar Wright.
Two Edgar Wrights make
Two rights
make two films.
make a Pilgrim.
Two wrongs make an Edgar Rice Boras.
It's incredibly cast. Like Michael Cera as the titular Scott loser, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Ramona, and then like the side cast like Alison Pill as Kim, like Aubrey Plaza pops up as Julie Powers, and she looks exactly like she's drawn, which is weird because you look at Brian Lee O'Malley's art style and it's like, how can anyone look like this who's a real person? Oh no, Aubrey Plaza looks exactly like Julie Powers. Anna Kendrick looks exactly like Stacey Pilgrim. What's going on? Brie Larson's in it. She's Scott's ex-girlfriend. Brandon Routh's in it.
Yes,
Brandon Routh's in it.
Chris Evans is in it.
It's
the only film.
It's
To my knowledge, it's the only film with Superman and Captain America in it.
yeah, just pre Captain America.
Double dip heroes, actually. Because
Yes.
Captain America, Human Torch, Superman,
Yes.
the Atom.
Oh,
So
much
already
double
it's winning
dipping.
points as a comic book movie because it's full of comic book cast
and
members as well.
and Captain Marvel.
Oh, of course, Brie Larson, yeah,
Yeah.
Captain Marvel. Damn.
So there's that.
Hot damn. Call the police and the fireman.
So who are we going to get into? Who's the next person who's going to go from Scott Pilgrim into a Marvel or DC movie? Oh, Michael Cera is Robin in Lego Batman.
There we go. Oh, we can see.
There we
Keep
go.
telling me we should need
There
Mary
we
Elizabeth
go.
Winstead to play somebody now.
Who should Mary Elizabeth Winstead play?
Reboot the X-Men universe and make her a rogue.
Okay.
I would
There we
watch
go.
the crap out of that. She's got that
Job done.
kind of like scrappy young charm. There's a slight outsider vibe to her. She'd work with that.
It's just great. It's oddball and wacky, and it nails the tone of the comics of just being sort of, it's pop culture-y and out there, and it moves at 1,000,000 miles a minute, and it just throws so much stuff at you, and it just expects you to go with it, and if you do, you'll have a whale of a time. But it is also about relationships and how people completely fail to understand each other, and how Scott's in kind of a state of arrested development, and it's him. It's not so much a story.
At least one person out there took a shot when you said that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's
It's not so much a story as a deconstruction of feelings
George,
told through a story.
George Michael. It's just one of those things of. It's not so much about Scott's development into being an actual adult at the age of 23, as much as it is about the people around him sort of breaking off from him and becoming better from it.
Yeah.
So like Scott's almost dragging people down in a way,
Hmm.
but that also makes him and Ramona perfect for each other because she also drags people down.
I was going to say, because who's the girlfriend in the street? Knives?
Knives, yeah.
Yeah.
He becomes a much richer person for Scott breaking up with her.
Yeah.
Um,
But he becomes a better person for having become a bit of a dick as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of it's a journey. It's the journey into adulthood told through wacky fight sequences.
yeah. And
Okay.
people explode into coins.
Yes, they do.
It's just nuts. But yeah, I think in terms of tone and execution, I think it absolutely nails the feel of the source material, and it's a great film.
Okay, all right.
And it gets overlooked all the time.
Let's see the checklist. Does it have sex bomb in it?
We are Sex Bomb. Oh, the soundtrack's amazing.
The soundtrack is great.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
Does it have vegans with superpowers?
It has vegans with superpowers, including a cameo appearance from Thomas Jane as a member of the vegan police.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
No vegan hedge, no vegan powers. It's so good.
It's a good movie. God damn it, that is a good one to start
It's
on.
really good.
God damn it, Matthew Watson.
Because you just every time you think about Scott Pilgrim, you think of another thing that's great about Scott Pilgrim.
Now you said, yeah, because I'm trying to think of something to fight you with.
But you can't.
And I can't.
You can't fight
the only
with
thing
Scott
the only thing I
Pilgrim.
could get at you is with a nitpick and be like, well, it's not exactly true to the source material because it's got a different ending. But they both
It's true to
informed
the feel of
each
the source
other,
material.
so yeah.
And Brian Lee O'Malley worked on it, so.
God damn it, sir! That's a perfect opener.
Because
I think we can officially say that that's one that nailed it.
Yeah.
Damn it! Damn.
Yeah, nailed it. Nailed it
Okay.
to the wall.
Oh, you swine.
Nailed that puppy to the wall.
Raging. I'm gonna throw a curveball at your ass.
Curve me.
My first suggestion is, and this is a bit tough really because it's subjective, is Batman the movie, the 1966 motion picture. Now, to be fair,
You cannot be serious.
yes.
You cannot be serious.
Shut up, McEnroe. To be fair, right, it's not true to the source material of the comic book
It's not true to any
so
source
much
material.
as the source material of the public's perception of comic books. Because 1940s, 1950s Comics Co. gets whacked in, Frederick Wortham does Seduction of the Innocent, screws everybody over, a load of superhero books get cancelled and disappear for at least the next 15, 20 years. Batman continues, but he's no longer fighting dark criminals and mobsters and everything, and psychos. All of his villains are trimmed down and peeled back to become wacky pranksters and jokesters rather
Can
than
you
actual
imagine the
villains.
gory story where Batman does actually go around and trim down and peel back all his villains?
If you harm
One
hair on Miss Kitka's head, I'll peel your skin off.
What the fuck are you talking about,
But listen,
Christopher?
in the, so in
What
the 50s,
does it nail?
In the 50s, it changes and it becomes about aliens and zebra print suits and apes and intelligent apes and it becomes about weird shit, right? So the TV series, Bill Dozier's TV show comes around and it's just a farce. It's a comedy show that has enough action in it the kids will be entertained and it's stupid enough that adults will be smiling and laughing throughout the whole thing. So that's the show that we've been given. That's the hand we've been dealt. That's Batman, and it becomes a Beatles-like 60s sensation. So when they make a movie, it's got to nail that material, that source material, what the public believed Batman to be, and it really does that. It absolutely knocks on the head. But if you want to break it down to the bare bones, all right, Batman's in it, yes.
Yeah.
Is Batman just? Yes. Is
Is Batman just an idiot?
Is Batman
Yes.
is Batman wielding his hammers of justice? Yes. Not so much punching
Yes.
until he gets to the top of the submarine, but still, alright? Are there outrageous villains?
Yes.
Is there a team up like there is in any Batman event of the villains? Yes.
Yes.
Is Robin in there throwing out some ridiculous dialogue?
Yes.
And also, do they up the scale because it's a movie? Which they do in all the comic book movies. Part and parcel is they up the scale a bit to make it more cinematic. Do they do that in the film? Yes. It's a perfect adaptation of Batman the TV series, which was an adaptation of what everyone thought the comic was about. Discuss. You could totally take this one apart. You really could. You could tear this one asunder.
I mean, it's
Movie fights, this is not. I'm going to admit.
basically a feature-length version of an episode of Batman 66. It's campy. It's fun, but it's fun because it's a bit pants. Like, it is rubbish. It is rubbish.
Admittedly,
Like,
it's a bit long.
The sets look bad, the costumes look bad, the story
What are you
makes no
talking
sense.
about? The inside of that submarine that for some reason is a library with a brick wall with a squid mural painted on it, that's definitely a realistic looking submarine set.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
The greatest, most tense action scene in any Batman
It's
adaptation.
just poor.
What if he threw that bomb on those ducks? He can't throw the bomb in the boat with the snogging couple. Oh, that marching band,
yeah,
he's going
it
to
is-
ruin their day if the bomb blows up. And Batman would stop a bomb blowing up a marching band, Matt.
See,
You don't believe in Batman's ability to save the day.
It really works.
The problem here is you hate justice.
It really works as a comedy, but I'm not sure it's supposed to be a comedy.
It is, because it's based on what Batman was at that point.
I think that's a bit of historical revisionism. I don't know if Batman was viewed like that by people until the 66 show came out. I think the 66 show caused that. I don't think it was necessarily a reflection of what was going on in comics at the time.
God damn it.
But
I back out. You're right.
it's
It doesn't
not
nail
good.
it.
I mean, I love it. I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, Matthew.
I fucking love it.
Oh, Matthew,
But
no.
it's not good.
Oh, God. Right. Scott Pilgrim's on the list. What else we got?
Again, this might be a slightly controversial pick, particularly because of how the author views it. I'm going to go with 2006's V for Vendetta.
Or as Alan Moore likes to call it. Oh, again. For some people, it's one of the most prolific books, making a very bold statement on government, politics, corruption, and the state of social economics. For Alan Moore, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking comic book. It's just stupid. Why is anyone paying attention to it? I wrote it while I was taking a shit.
He did actually. You can still see the marks on some of the scripts.
Oh. No, those are the wizard juices. Wizard juice.
Let's not talk about Lost Girls.
Oh, God. Don't Google it, guys.
Wizard juices everywhere.
Matt described it to me in detail. I wish I'd never known.
I'm not going to talk to you about Lost Girls. We're going to talk about V for Vendetta. So
I've never heard it. V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta. Directed by James McTeague and scripted by the Wachowskis, who were then the Wachowski brothers. This is...
That's the sound of them becoming the Wachowski sisters.
Yeah, that's horrible. This is a adaptation of Alan Moore's comic book of the same name, in which a revolutionary dressed as Guy Fawkes aims to bring down the totalitarian regime of future Britain, which has become a fascist dystopia. And Natalie Portman's Evie, a young working class woman, not a Pokemon that evolves into one of 7 different forms, gets caught up in the plot. Nerd.
Only 3.
I think it's great. It's got a horribly sort of retro futuristic version of a future dystopian Britain. It's got an incredibly magnetic central performance by Hugo Weaving, although some of that is also James. What's his name? Not James McAvoy. James.
Billy who? I'll get it for you.
It was recast during production.
Wait, who was recast during production?
Oh,
so Hugo Weaving dubbed him over.
Yeah,
James Purefoy.
I
did not know that.
So there's it's just a great cast all around. Natalie Portman's performance as Evie is again very, very vulnerable, and she's a wonderful sequence in it where V breaks her down by faking an imprisonment. It's very powerful. John Hurt's in it.
Yes, he's my favourite part about it.
Stephen Fry's in it. Tim Pigott-Smith's in it. Roger Allam's in it. Eddie Marson's in it. It's great. Those are great British actors in it. And Stephen Rea's Finch is the detective who is sort of investigating V and starts to uncover more to the whole conspiracy and the regime. I think it's a great sort of distillation of some of the themes of the book, even if it's not a very close adaptation storyline wise. It does move things around, but basically it gets you to the same point. And it does end with the death of... Spoilers if you've not read V for Vendetta. It does end with the death of V and his ascension to a symbol in the same thing that happened to Guy Fawkes. Well, let us not forget, Guy Fawkes was a religious fundamentalist, so maybe we shouldn't celebrate that quite as much as we do.
Surely it's the anti-celebration.
We're
not celebrating the exploding of Parliament, we're celebrating things blowing up! Look at these pretty fireworks!
And I think it's... I mean, one of the problems with this film is it made the Guy Fawkes mask ubiquitous again.
Yeah.
And now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
That specific mask as well, that design.
Yeah. Which I'm sure the filmmakers must detest a little bit.
Man. But there's
I wonder how Alan Moore feels about it. I wonder if anyone's ever asked him about that.
he probably hates it.
Like Anonymous and other places use your the mask from your story specifically because of your story. Because it'll be because of V for Vendetta.
Unless I'm wrong and that design dates back further than the comic.
I don't know, man. I think the comic might have been the first instance.
I don't remember seeing it anywhere before the comic, before the film.
And I imagine Anonymous seem to be mostly, like, in terms of the generations, they seem to be mostly our age or slightly older, so there'll be people who watch V for Vendetta as teenagers, and they, you know, they've adopted that as part of the whole kind of, they've sort of adopted it as more of a Robin Hood kind of thing, as like a, you know, well, Guy Fawkes in the romanticised version of that story. Yeah.
I think the movie does, it does do a great job of sort of
playing.
Yeah.
Especially if you hit the right button on the remote.
Yeah, it's very good at that. And I just think it's great at showing the sort of the downfall, how much people are willing to put up with for a quiet life, and how far they let their society fall before taking action. And I think it's probably a more timely film now than it was when it was released.
Bonus points for casting John Hurt in the role he's in.
Yeah.
Because it sort of gives him the chance to play the opposite side of the role he played in 1984.
Yeah.
Which is a really good piece of casting there. I can't dispute that one, because again, I haven't read V since I was about 13, 14. I took it out of the school library, because, you know, the school library now.
Had V for Vendetta, of course it did.
Oh, it's one of those. Most high school libraries just buy a bunch of comic books and then put them in the graphic novel
without
section
actually reading
without
them.
actually reading any of them. Yeah. God, I read League of Extraordinary Gentlemen at my school library. That is basically just like, here's an old man and a female vampire butt fucking. It's like,
yeah, that's
great.
something.
Alan Moore again, folks.
Oof. Oof.
Oh God. Oh, that's clearly going to be the next film suggestion in this list.
Oh.
Nope. I think V for Vendetta, I'm going to have to take your word for it. I'm going to have to take your word for it that it matches. No, I am, but I don't know it as strongly as to be able to contest it.
I think it's something that's got a problem. It doesn't like match the plot line specifically, but
No,
I think
no,
it gets
I
the
think
tone
you
and
can,
the feel of it.
Because a lot of these adaptations that I'm going to bring up, especially as well, don't adapt to specific storyline. Exactly. Elements. But I think, let's stick it on the list, man. Let's stick it on the list.
Let's put it on the list.
Scott Pilgrim and V for Vendetta.
I like it.
That's Matt's review. I think it's a thing.
That's my qualification. Does it have it? Yeah, I like it a lot. What's next?
Picture, if you will, the year 1990. Do you remember the year 1990?
Okay, well,
you can probably barely remember 1990.
Yeah, I was 2, so
you can barely remember 1990. I don't remember 1990. I remember 1990. I remember swimming around going, "Oh, I'm in a testicle." But yeah. Oh, actually, no.
Bollocks.
No. In 1990, I would have been like, "Where am I going? Why am I no longer in this testicle?" Debuting January 1991. That's a thought for everyone to picture in their head. But picture the world, 1990. The 80s were full of things, weren't they?
They
Lots
were.
of things.
They were full
Marketable
of
things, colourful things, merchandisable things. Hell, some parents relied so much on said things that they didn't look at the things came from. So when it came to a movie based on the things that their kids were into,
I know where
they were incredibly surprised to find out just how much closer to the comic books Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was in comparison to the animated show.
Yeah.
Now, it takes cues from the animated series. The personalities are a lot closer to the animated series. They've got coloured headbands, and there are a lot more jokes about pizza and things like that. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm going to put it out there, on the Matt Watson scale of film rating, is pretty great.
It's pretty great.
I wouldn't go so far as saying it's totally great. I'd give it a pretty great.
It's been a while since I've seen it, so I'd have to watch it again. But I suspect it may edge towards totally great.
Yeah, especially in a world where we have several iterations of the Turtles now, and it still stands head and shoulders above others.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
Now, I will predict one criticism ahead of time,
which is
the depiction of the Shredder and his gang's escalation is a bit weird. And very 90s.
It's so 90s.
Well, no, I think it's that early part of the 90s where everything was so 80s.
Come and hang
but
out.
We hadn't moved on yet.
Come and hang out and play video games and
smoke
and do ninja training. And now you're part of our ninja army.
But using the Foot Clan as a youth recruitment thing, as opposed to just a bunch of faceless ninjas, with some faceless ninjas thrown in, is a pretty genius move for the adaptation to film.
Are
because
they
it shows
faceless
that
ninjas who were once teenagers though?
yeah, they've all grown up, but a lot of them are implied to like the ones that they fight in the masks and everything have been with them a while.
Yeah.
The kids mostly just look like kids because they've not trained up yet. But Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael are present and correct and very much in character with how the world sees them. They're like the TV versions, but they're a bit grittier.
Master Splinter,
Taught us not to rush to violence.
Casey Jones,
Is the best depiction of Casey Jones in any media outside of the comics.
because Elias Koteas is great. That's why.
April O'Neil is freaking adorable. Her reaction to first meeting Splinter is one of my favourite things in the world. Splinter is a puppet, and a damn good looking puppet at that. We get a funky version of the origin. I think that's the only version where the origin is like straight up the proper one, isn't it? Like where he was a rat.
Yes.
Because originally he was a rat, wasn't he? And he trained alongside his master. There's the montage, the flashbacks of him in shadow. Where his master's like doing his poses, and you can see the rat doing the poses in the shadow. Who then? Hang on, wait. Splinter's origin. Splinter was a man, wasn't he? No, that's right. The film's
Was
the
he
one
a man?
that the Splinter I think was a man. No, they've changed it since. I can't remember. Basically,
I'm going to look it up.
there are two
'cause
versions of Splinter's origin.
There's a lot of Splinters around.
One of them is where he is Hamato Yoshi.
One of them is where he was a man dreaming he was a rat. The other one is where he was a rat dreaming he was a man.
All right, steady on. God. One of them he's Hamato Yoshi and he gets turned into a rat, and the other one is he's the rat belonging to Hamato Yoshi.
Yeah.
Because Hamato Yoshi was Orokusaki's mortal enemy, Orokusaki being the Shredder. Shredder is one and done in this movie. He shows up, he kicks everyone's arse, and it takes Splinter's intervention to actually defeat him. The action sequences are pretty great. The music is free. Like, the music is great. The entire bit out on the farm at the end of the second act, when everybody's at the lowest ebb, is great. When what's it? I think he's recovering. He's in the bath. It sounds like a porno.
Awesome.
It's just a great movie, man. It's freaking great. The guy who plays Raphael, who does the voice of Raphael, cameos in the movie as the guy in the cab, which Raphael in his trench coat rolls over the hood of when he's crossing the road and he has a go at him. The taxi's like, "Hey, watch where you're walking, pal!" And he's like, "I'm walking here." And the guy in the back of the cab is Raphael's voice actor, and he goes, the taxi driver's like, "What was that?" And he goes like, "It looked like a giant turtle in a coat and hat." And it's like, it's funny because you're him.
Just to clear things up, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, go on.
In the original version of the comics and this version of the film, Splinter is the pet rat of Hamato Yoshi.
Yeah, so
He's Hamato Yoshi in the 87 animated series.
Yes.
The 2012 animated series.
Yes.
And
Because Karai turned out to be his daughter in the
Yes.
2012 animated series.
And
Spoilers for season 2.
the new films.
Okay, so
I think in the new films, he's like him and the turtles are the reincarnations of Hamato Yoshi and his four sons or something like that.
oh,
But I've not
That's
seen them, so I don't know.
dumb, but also kind of an interesting take on it.
But that's cleared that up.
Okay, so basically
The
this,
Splinter origin paradox.
this, and the 2003 animated series, then I guess, are the only ones that do the accurate origin, Matthew. That's source material accuracy right there.
Yeah.
They nailed it. By
He's a pet
Jim.
rat. He's
He's
Hamato
also
Yoshi's
performed
pet
by
rat.
the guy who was Elmo at the time as well.
Brilliant.
So that's a winner, who was a big bulking black guy voicing a frail Japanese guy.
Awesome.
Because
Awesome.
of course. The turtles are great. The weapons are actually used in this movie. So we get some action with bow staffs and sais and nunchucks and everything.
Yeah.
I'm throwing it out there. I think that one is one of them. I think that's one of those comic book movies that nails the source material. In this case, the comic book and a sprinkle of the animated series that made them popular.
Just a little sprink. Just a little
Just a
sprink.
filthy sprink. Think, don't big finish and drive, splink. That is a very specific reference. Take a shot if you got it.
Yeah, I think we can safely put Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on that list. It's
On its own, though. Don't bring any of its sequels with it.
Well, not secrets in use.
No, because they don't use the weapons at any point.
No.
It got PG certificated because parents complained about the first one. You get Toka and Razor, who don't get cool until the 2012 animated series. Mommy! Shredder, like, oh. And you get Super Shredder, who rocks up and then a pier falls on him, and that's it.
Cool.
And then Michael Bay tries to out Super Shredder. in the 2014 movie.
I need to get around to watching that.
It's on Netflix. We should do it. I think we should make a night of it.
For some reason, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do.
I need to see season 3 and season 4 of the 2012 series.
I've seen a bit of
which is
season 3.
amazing.
It's quite good. It's very good.
Is it the first bit where it's all like sort of horror story style stuff? The first few stories are basically horror movies. So have you seen the Dream Beavers?
No, I've not seen the Dream Beavers.
Oh, that's good. Robert Englund voices 2 of them.
Of course.
Which is a quite nice touch.
Of course he does.
Oh, mince.
I've seen the episode where David... I can't remember his name. The guy who plays Lo Pan in Big Trouble in Little China plays...
Oh, that's in series 2. Yeah. He plays he's a
brilliant.
ghost and he's got the same kind of voice and everything.
He's playing Ho Chan instead of Lo Pan. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's pretty great.
And he turns the purple dragons into the 3 storms.
Mm-hmm.
And then he sees the turtles more powerful, so he turns 3 of the turtles. He turns Leonardo, Raph, and Donnet into the 3 storms instead.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate that is a thing?
It's
there is an episode
amazing.
of the 2012 Ninja Turtles show that is basically
good.
just a loose remake of Big Trouble in Little China.
It's real good.
With Ninja Turtles.
It's real good.
God, I love that show.
I need to watch more of it. It's a real good show. Okay, well, I'll give you that. I'll give you TMNT.
Let's put it on the
And
list.
I'll see TMNT.
Oh,
Not TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because TMNT is a different version.
That is a good movie too, but I won't put that one in there because it's in that weird loophole where it's not quite a sequel to the original 3 movies, but it is a sequel to the original 3 movies, but there's so much of it that's different that it doesn't quite work like that. Like, Casey and April are played very differently by Chris Evans and Sarah Michelle Gellar, respectively, yet the trophy room at the end where Splinter puts one of the trophies from the end of the story has nothing but items from the 3 movies in it. So it's like, oh, so it is a sequel, but Karai's in it, and she implies that Shredder's coming back, even though he's been killed twice, quite severely.
Well, you know, you can't keep a good Shredder down.
You can't. You can crush him by a trash compactor and he'll still live. Oh my god. Matthew!
I'm going to see your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm going to raise you 2012's Dread.
Yes, bitch!
Because, Christopher, how good is Dread?
There is only one answer to that, and that's very... That E was extended because my personalised gun was charging before it was about to...
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
You look ready. Oh, God. It's so good.
Do you know what?
After the shit show that was Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd from
I am the law!
which understands that Judge Dredd is a comic book, but thinks that all comic books are for children. And
you mean they're not?
it was a Judge Dredd movie written by someone who's never read a Judge Dredd comic. Then again, they bring this along, and it's just Carl Urban just owns the role.
Yes,
of Dredd. Never takes that helmet off. Written and produced by Alex Garland, directed by Pete Travis. They just understand the grittiness and the dourness, and the dourness and the sourness, and
the sourness,
the grimness of the dystopia that is Mega City 1, and they bring it with Dredd. And it was one of those kind of dueling movies things that came out around the same time as The Raid, and it's basically you fight your way up a tower block.
It's a remake of The Raid with a dude in armour.
Yeah. And it's...
and a psychic.
And like The Raid, it's great. It's visceral, it's violent, it's nasty. Lena Headey puts in an incredible performance as Mama, the drug peddling villain. Olivia Thirlby's Judge Anderson is like a good like weigh-in character.
Yeah, it's a smart move to tell the story through her.
Yeah, because you don't. Dredd isn't someone your audience isn't going to see the world through Dredd's eyes. Dredd is a person who, it's like with the Batman movie. The best time a lot of times Batman works best on screen is when you're seeing him from the perspective of other characters.
Yeah, Vicky Vale and stuff like that.
Vicky Vale.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I want to bust that body.
I liked it.
Just out there.
But back to Dredd. It just gets rid of all like, because you look at the 1995 movie and everything's all Jean-Paul Gaultier and over-designed and figure-hugging, and then you look at the... And
It's
everything
sort of
looks...
it's almost like it's like an audition for the Fifth Element.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
really...
it's like a... Yeah. Did Luc Besson direct Judge Dredd?
I don't think
Because it looks like a Luc Besson movie.
Yeah.
Like, not in a good way. Because I love the Fifth Element.
2 seconds away from Dredd, my man!
Where is
Rocket?
Rock?
Storming in.
But no, the 2012 Dredd is gritty and dirty and real, and it's just a really good, solid action movie. It doesn't look like it's ever going to get a sequel or a continuation, which is a real shame.
They're pushing for a Netflix show as a follow, which I would watch the crap out of.
But
in a world with the Marvel Netflix stuff and shows like Narcos and Breaking Bad and everything getting exposure heavily through the streaming services, Dredd as a Netflix series would be phenomenal. I mean, especially because the movie's already on there. Like, just do it. Just add the series as well.
Carl Urban did really... He's very open to returning.
Sylvester Stallone plays Sylvester Stallone dressed in a sort of Judge Dredd outfit. Carl Urban did weeks of muscle training to find a way to comfortably have his face in that grimace the whole time.
Oh man, he gives so much with just this chin.
He's not expressive.
No.
And yet you know everything he needs to tell you through his performance. You get it all. Anderson's my favourite part of that movie. She plays that so well, especially the scene where she goes into that guy's mind and he tries to sort of take advantage of it, and she just completely flips the switch.
Yeah.
She's incredible in that film. The action is great. I'm going to have to dispute it because that's the rules of the game. It's hard to do that.
What?
I know. What? Judge Dredd isn't that held back as a source material. Judge Dredd gets a bit more fantastical. So I would say that movie's not so much an adaptation that nails it, so much as a starter. It's like a fresher course. Now, if that was the movie universe that film takes place in, like if it continues as a Netflix show or whatever, and it keeps that tone, fair enough, because it's a tone I like, and it's a style I like a lot. And it's actually paining me to say this, but I'm going to be deconstructed. Whereas, that means you're going to lose out on a lot more of the fantastical elements that do come along with the 2000 AD comic.
I don't think so, because they introduced Anderson as a judge from the Psi division. So you know you've got psychics.
Yeah.
And then you've also got
anything else
things like the drug.
Well, anything else fantastical happens is chemical, and it's perception. It's not actually happening.
Well,
so
I don't know,
this is not, I could not see introductions to characters like, say, Judge Death in this world.
I don't know.
Which means you are going to lose out on so many opportunities.
I think Anderson being a side
tales.
judge kind of opens that door.
Maybe, but I think you'd have to. There needed to almost be just maybe one extra element of fantasticalness in this movie. Maybe one extra thing to tease the expansion, because the side thing is downplayed. It's played quite quietly.
It is a good representation of early Judge Dredd, because you don't get Judge Dredd for a while.
In terms of consistent Dredd, I've only read like the first couple of years of it.
Yeah.
And it is low down and gritty and everything. But if you were to go on,
even including the Robot Revolution.
Yes. But if you were to go on, you need to. I mean, that's all. Maybe all it would take is just a robot. I've one robot in there at one point. That'd be enough
robots in it?
Not to my knowledge. I think that you see like more automated machinery, but because we spend time in. What's the tower called? What's the tower called?
I can't remember what the tower was.
Because we spend time there, it's boiled down to just like the basics, so we don't get to see that world. But it would have been nice to have teased it early on. This pains me.
Oh no, don't do this, because you know you're wrong.
I know I'm kind of
wrong.
You know
you're wrong.
I'm kind of wrong, and I have mad extra respect for that movie because they're one of those few things that when they put out the Blu-ray, it included the 3D and 2D
Kenneth involved
as standards. I don't think I can allow it. I think it's a freaking amazing movie. Oh, he's gone. He's left. He's left. He's left. He's actually gone. Matt's gone. Right. Guess it's just me now. But all I know when I'm alone is my own body. So I get. Oh, hey, you all right? Welcome back. I wasn't taking my pants off. They can't see that. They can't see that. They can't see that. There we go. Ah. Oh, that looks painful hitting your fist like that.
Oh, shut up.
Oh.
It was me kicking the piss out of Chris
Ever-loving piss
for
out
disallowing Dread.
Oh,
You're going to regret that in future years.
I will.
In your private moments in all the years to come, I want you to remember.
The one time you disallowed Dread.
The one time.
Now, I think it's a phenomenal movie and it's an incredible film. If you've never seen it, go and see it, and it is brilliant and it does depict Judge Dredd really well. But I don't believe that it's in the world. Like, I need to see more. I need to see more.
Christopher, you're wrong.
I am wrong, but so right.
What's your next pick?
My next pick, good sir. If I can remember, now I'm so terrified. We've got a bit of a rule which we forgot to mention at the beginning, is it would be unfair to dip into this specific selection too much, simply because Marvel Studios tend to nail it across the board in terms of tone and depictions of their characters on the big screen. But I would be remiss if I were not to at least throw...
Would you be remiss, though?
To at least throw the hat of Dum Dum Dugan, the Howling Commandos, and Captain America the First Avenger into the ring. Because Captain America the First Avenger is a cinematic translation, almost beautifully, of the comic book from the 1940s to the cinema screen. It takes a period superhero who's ridiculous on the surface. From the name, costume alone, people balk. People balk, sir! Some people still balk to this day at the notion of Captain America. Not only makes it legitimate, not only makes you go, oh, that's why people have stuck with this character for years, but also delivers, essentially, Indiana Jones with superpowers. Ain't fighting Nazis with whips. Don't flip the bird at me. This is an audible medium. Don't flip the bird my way. I'm going to say it. Chris Evans takes a character that could be absolutely butchered by anyone. Hell, it was twice before in two separate Captain America movie attempts at a franchise. Both of which, if I recall, had sequels. Both terrible. Both forgotten. Because this one nailed it, good sir. It nailed it. Think about it. Red Skull. German? Yes. Not Italian. Stupid TV series. TV movie bullshit. Red Skull German. Played by your boy, Hugo Weaving. Yeah. Yeah. Bringing some intimidation. Toby Jones. Getting in there as Arnim Zola. Yeah. See, got some class. Got some real menace. Some villainous nonsense. Haley Atwell. See, there's a twinkle in your eye appeared when I said Haley Atwell's name, because that was the time she wiggled into our minds. That was when she sprung out of nowhere and kicked a soldier in the balls. Does she kick him in the balls? I can't remember.
Yeah, she kicked someone in the balls at some point. But
Tommy Lee Jones in the MCU.
There's a little twinkle in my
playing
eye.
Tommy Lee Jones and nailing it, sir.
There's a sad twinkle in my eye because I know I'm going to have to disallow this one.
You bitch. You beautiful
But
bitch.
I'll let you dig your hole before I fill it in.
I mean, to be fair, we don't have Kid Bucky running around going, oh, gee, Steve! But we still get their relationship. We see that there is a dynamic betwixt them. We feel that brotherly love before he gets kicked off the train in that rejected portion of the train level from Uncharted 2. It's... I mean, it is, let's be honest. It is a damn fine period movie. That doesn't mean you can watch it for 3 to 7 days of the month, once a month. I mean, it's a damn fine period piece set within the Second World War, featuring Captain America that doesn't feel cheesy, doesn't feel hammy, and is freaking great. It nails it. It nails the material, it nails the feel, and by Jiminy Greaves, he's a star-spangled man with a plan.
I love The First Avenger.
You do. We watched it together,
it's a
actually.
really great movie.
We watched it together in the cinema.
Yeah. I think it's really great.
Hammersmith.
It's really great.
Oh, God.
But
Oh, God. Oh, shit.
it is not.
Shit biscuits.
It is not a faithful adaptation of the comics from the 1940s.
Are you going to say because he doesn't punch Hitler in the face? Because he does.
because-
Although it's during the Star-Spangled Man montage of the movie.
He doesn't actually fight any Nazis.
I think you'll find that he does in spirit.
And he's not on the front lines.
I think you'll find that he does in spirit.
And a lot of the stuff that's great about the movie is the way that it deconstructs the earnestness of those early appearances, which in those early appearances are just completely earnest. He's telling you to buy war bonds because he wants you to buy war bonds. I think
Yeah, but Matt,
there is a degree of
Matt,
historical revisionism,
you should buy war bonds.
a bit of historical revisionism, that makes that stuff work better with the angle that the films throw on it. And it is very much a modern version of Captain America. It's not. It's not a. It's not an accurate representation of the 1940s style Captain America. And if you're going to disallow Dredd because Judge Death couldn't be in it, then I have to disallow Captain America: The First Avenger for the simple fact that he doesn't actually ever fight any Nazis.
Yeah, but Tommy Lee Jones goes, "I ain't kissing you."
I love Tommy Lee Jones. I love the movie. I love it so much. I think it's amazing. And I think it's a great modern interpretation of Captain America, but it's not an accurate representation of the original 1940s.
Well then, good sir. Fair enough. Sorry, Cap. Matthew doesn't like democracy or righteousness. Matt isn't a fan of justice. Matt wants the Nazis to win.
Okay.
The fictional Nazis.
I think
the fictional super magic worshipping Nazis with the blue ray guns.
I think we should do one more each and then maybe table this discussion for a later time.
That's a good shout.
We can definitely come back to this.
I have one more, and
I think we can, with a bit of watching, we can pull some more material for this
out of our ass.
Yeah.
What is your final film, you great big handsome swine?
Back to the Marvel well, but not the Marvel MCU. 2008's Punisher Warzone.
The Lexi Alexander directed flick starring Ray Stevenson as not Thomas Jane.
I think it's a very accurate representation of the Punisher Max stuff. It's heightened violence to the point of being ridiculous.
That was a punch, but I did it on the 7th story.
But it's also
heightened violence.
It's also in a very gritty, real, violent world with real consequences for everyone who gets involved.
Namely bullets.
And it's nasty. It's a nasty movie.
It's a nasty film.
Nasty and dark and violent. And even with Dominic West playing to the gallery with his larger than life jigsaw. And
playing to the gallery. That's a perfect description.
And Doug Hutchinson's
he's just watching the crew smile, and that's the only reason he's doing what he's doing.
Doug Hutchinson basically being like, "Oh, we saw you in X-Files and thought you were really creepy as Tombs. Come and do that in our movie." But it strikes the perfect balance of nastiness and stupidity, I think, for a Punisher movie that you can enjoy. And also, Punisher's just, they don't try and humanise him.
No.
Or make him sympathetic. He's just a force of nature.
Yeah.
He just appears, fucks everyone up, and then goes. Doesn't try and get attached to anyone. Doesn't try and like form any relationships. Just he has a business relationship with Micro, and that's it.
Yeah. Damn, I mean,
it's
hard to dispute.
He does shoot a parkour dude in midair with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, he does.
He also punches through a dude's face.
Yes, he does.
He also puts Dominic West in a glass grinder, and he then gets his face reconstructed with horsehide. It's wonderful. And also Dennis Nedry's in it, but he's deflated.
Yeah,
Wayne Knight,
tiny Wayne Knight,
yeah.
a tiny Wayne Knight, Wayne Evening,
and then gets shot.
Yeah. That's a tough one to dispute. I mean, I'm
not attached to it, so I get it. But I think it's Daredevil aside, I think it's the most accurate to the comics rendition of the Punisher.
Well, I was going to say, as far as if I had to pick between the two movies, one to whack on, giggity, I'd probably pick the 2004 Thomas J movie.
You're fucking mad.
Yeah, I know I am. But
it's not good, Chris.
No, but only because if I'm putting on a Punisher movie, it's not because I'm settling down with a bucket of popcorn. It's because I kind of want something loud and noisy to play in the background.
Yeah, the Warzone is still better than Thomas Jane Punisher.
But you get the giggles when you get the shitty John Travolta villain in 2004, Howard Saint.
See, the Thomas Jane one pisses me off because they're trying to adapt Welcome Back Frank, but they don't have any of the good stuff about Welcome Back Frank.
Yeah, they don't have Mamanucci and all that. But you do get the fight with the Russian, which is a pretty sweet sequence. That is pretty great.
Or as they called him on the Weekly Planet recently, a giant Popeye.
Popeye, that's a good description, actually. Giant Popeye the Russian.
They were talking about this on Weekly Planet, I think, this week.
The swines copying us with their
God.
loot crate.
Well, they're just the Australian version of us, right? That's how we work. We're that popular, right?
So,
we're someone's official podcast. We have sponsorships.
we're the official podcast of this room. But yeah. But the thing, because I find Punisher Warzone less palatable.
Oh, it's definitely, yeah, it's...
But that being said, a lot of what the Punisher stories
It ain't palatable.
aren't palatable at all. I think Daredevil hits that perfect middle ground. Like, you get him, you understand his motivations, but you're also disgusted by some of his actions. Thomas Jane's one is a bit more of a hero's journey, but that still means that he still dishes out the violence and the punishment, but it's to the bad men. You don't get the sense that he's a bad man himself. Because he is. The Punisher is. He's doing horrible things.
He's a murderous psychopath.
And you definitely get that with Warzone. Hey, baby. We don't get much of the Punisher in it. Like, he doesn't say very much.
Which I think
we don't get internal monologue.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, but at the same time, what I do want from a Punisher story, this is my personal preference, is I want Frank. I want him. I want to at least root for him a little bit. Whereas in this movie, I'm just as terrified of him as I am of them.
He should be. He's a murderous psychopath.
It's
Broken
tough.
Inside.
It's tough because I think Daredevil nailed it.
I think Daredevil did.
And it's kind of made me think of those the two Punisher movies. Well, there's three Punisher movies in there, but the two Punisher movies as in terms of getting him. Do you know what?
I mean, it's certainly a closer adaptation than the Dolph Lundgren one.
I'm not going to. Oh Christ! He's got a skull on his knife. That means he's the Punisher, right?
He's got a skull on his knife.
I'm not going to allow it, but in exchange, I will open up the VIP rope for Dredd. Because now I feel really bad.
Are we going what?
I am retroactively...
Are we going tit for tat?
I am retroactively taking... Because I think Dredd does nail it a bit more than Punisher Warzone.
I think Dredd nails it. And Punisher Warzone comes close, but yeah, I can buy that.
Okay.
I can buy that.
Okay, Dredd's come through the velvet rope.
Dredd's going in.
This
Dredd's
is...
slipping into the crevice.
Dirty bastard. This is my one chance to get at least 2 movies on this list.
Alright,
then.
alright, come on.
Picture, if you will.
Alright, I'm picturing.
The year 2009.
I'm just lying back. I'm putting my fingers together into the big screen. This is how I'd like to see the movie.
Oh God.
It's happening.
Oh God.
And action.
Because there's a giant spider. Because spider. It's the year 2009, and comic book fans around the world are pretty pissed off. We've just walked out of a movie featuring one of our favourite characters in popular culture that was not only a piece of shit and a waste of ticket money, but a disservice to every character who appeared in the film. Christ, this was the 4th entry. Surely the track record proved that even after a bumpy 3rd chapter, the 4th could have reclaimed it. But no, it seems like we're digging a deeper hole for ourselves. And worst of all, a fan favourite cult character has been fucked up the arse with a barbed baseball bat. It took the passion of 4 men, many pitches, and a beautifully timed internet leak to finally give us, in 2016, Deadpool. As
Hey,
I wanna shoot ya, baby. I'm sorry, but good God, it was the longest labour period ever. I think Ryan Reynolds called it that. He said it was like the worst relationship he's ever had. With this movie, because he couldn't let it go. He couldn't let it go, but it was causing him so much pain.
I just can't quit you.
It was so worth it because Deadpool is a perfect translation from page to screen. They know exactly what to lose to make it work in that format. They know exactly what to keep. They stay true to who the character is. They understand that part of his appeal is that he is not a nice person, but they give that enough shred of humanity so that as a Hollywood leading man in a superhero blockbuster, you get him, you like him, you wouldn't want to come within freaking 10 feet of him lest he do something horrible to you. His villains are generic, and he completely mocks them for that. His supporting cast are so much fun, like Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead are great. Yeah. Morena Baccarin in a frickin' film. Can she be in more films, please? Yes. Can she be freaking pegging Ryan Reynolds in every film she's in? Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Because Deadpool's great. I went into that movie hoping for the best. I went into that movie going, please don't just be a bland attempt at Deadpool, and please don't be an overstuffed, fan-wanky, this is appealing to the people who dress up as him at conventions version of Deadpool.
Which I think is the problem that a lot
You definitely weren't excited about this movie.
Yeah, I was not excited about it. I was really on the fence about it until I actually sat down and watched it. Because of that. Because of the mainstream acceptance Deadpool has
Marvel
gotten.
have made some weird steps in going.
Yeah, it was very, very overexposed for a while in the late
conventions.
2000s.
Loads of people started dressing up as Deadpool. Let's capitalize on that.
Yeah.
So Deadpool became the focus of like the online games. He made appearances in kids' cartoons. He's an Ultimate Spider-Man. He's got a couple of episodes. Like, too much. Too much. The Deadpool comics have never tried to soften that.
I don't know. I feel like Daniel Way's run maybe took it a bit
more cartoony, but it was still violent, and he was still not a good person. Like, he tried to be a hero. At one point, he decided he wanted to be a member of the X-Men. He was like, "Screw it! I can't die, and I really wish I was dead. I can't do that. I'm starting to feel empathy and sympathy for people that I shouldn't be murdering. I'm going to be a hero. Hi, X-Men! Let me join your team!" And they're like, "We'd rather take you into custody because you're a murderous psychopath." He's like, "Oh, aren't we the best of friends?"
I think Rick Remender's Uncanny X-Force does a better job of putting him on a team.
Yes, because he's put with a team who could handle him if he suddenly flipped. Deadpool should feel dangerous. He should make you laugh. He should specifically make you laugh by saying something that you know it's wrong to laugh at. And that definitely happens more than once in the movie. Ryan Reynolds is possibly one of the best superhero castings ever.
And they've tried it a few times with Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, good
and
lord.
it's not worked out.
But in terms of like when you think, wow, there is no actor who could be better suited to that role. People say that of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I think that's because he's shown passion and enthusiasm, and he's amazing. He has redefined Wolverine to the point where you can believe Wolverine can be a 6'2" Australian bloke, as opposed to a short, dumpy Canadian furball with claws. But you could recast Wolverine and do something amazing with Wolverine. We're attached to him because of the time and passion he's put into the role.
We're going to have to recast Wolverine.
Eventually, yeah.
Hugh Jackman ain't doing no more after this one.
Exactly. Well, he's done it now. He put a video on Instagram shaving off his beard, didn't he? He's not even got like the flicky hair in this one. He's just got short hair and a beard. But yeah, he got rid of it, and he declared that his wife would be delighted to know that she's not going to get any like rashes from kissing anymore. She's like, "Oh, I mean, maybe a little too much information there."
Yeah, I don't want to know why your wife's getting rashes.
Because we're all jealous. We want to kiss you. God damn it! But like,
we want to kiss Hugh.
But like, for example, like Heath Ledger is not necessarily like match made in heaven casting for the Joker.
No,
his interpretation.
There was a lot of pushback for that initially.
His interpretation of the Joker is spot on and phenomenal, perfect and amazing and great and wibbly wobbly, bibbly bobbly. But like, there's not many actors where they get cast. You go, yes. J. Jonah Jameson, for example, like whoever's following up J.K. Simmons is screwed. Like they're absolutely screwed because he's done it. Although I said the other day that an interesting my hat in the ring for J. Jonah Jameson, since Amazing Spider-Man's dead, cast Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary as J. Jonah Jameson would be pretty interesting.
No. I would go.
Oh?
I would go with. Did you go with Nick Offerman? He's too slow.
No, he's good though. I think had Ron not existed, then yes. But I think it'd be like Ron.
It needs to be someone who can do that sort of quick fire stuff.
Leary could do it. James Woods.
No.
James Woods would be good.
No.
Make him sleazier rather than a barking dog. But anyway, J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons, that's an example of like that casting is perfect. Like this actor and this role are married. No one else could do it as finely tuned as this.
Yeah.
Same with Downey Jr. and Iron Man. I would argue that that's kind of been ruined for everybody. Tony Stark is going to be a very tough act to recast one day.
They'll just bring a teenage Robert Downey Jr. from the past.
No.
Have him fight Robert Downey Jr.
In his heavily eyelinered, reversed age version. No. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Spot on.
Yeah.
And it made you,
Yeah, it is.
a Deadpool doubter, believe.
A Deadpool, sir?
A Doubtpool.
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 You threw your coins,
Doubtpool,
the Doubtpool.
2015.
I mean, sure, it fucks around with the characters, like other characters' history a bit. Weasel's no longer a tech guy for mercenaries. He runs a bar for mercenaries. But he's still providing that go-between role.
Yeah, I can go with that.
I'm fine with that. Blind Al is still Blind Al, and they're in a nice relationship in this version.
Well.
They treat each other like shit, but there's a definite, like, very thinly veiled admiration there for each other. Like, they would throw the other one under the bus if the opportunity arose, but they would also, I think, give each other a leg up if it came to it. Whereas in the comics, their relationship is pretty horrific.
Yeah.
Like, it seems fine on the surface.
Well, she
like
tries
a comedy,
to kill him at one point.
well, it seems like a comedy
relationship.
relationship.
Yeah.
Until you find out about the box. And that's when you go, oh wow, Deadpool's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I hated Deadpool when I got up to that part of that story arc. And that was the Joe Kelly thing. But I think that was the point. It was to remind you that he's not a nice person.
No.
So yeah. But I'm sticking Deadpool in there.
Okay.
And there's room for expansion, thanks to characters like Colossus being in it. As simple as Angel and Ajax can be, we know that this world can continue with the more comic booky, like, flamboyant elements too. Plus that soundtrack. And Dupinder. In fact, I would put Dupinder out as the main reason why this movie should be on the list. Just Dupinder.
Yes.
Mr. Poole.
Chris Pie 5.
Sorry. I was like, my brain went, right, what was that from? Oh god, of course, Deadpool! And then just remembered that's how he pays for his taxi fare.
Yeah.
Under very subtle threat of, I mean, I could just kill you.
Yeah, I could just kill
I
you.
could just kill you. He's got an Adventure Time watch. He has a Hello Kitty backpack full of weapons. And when he does it, it's not obnoxious. He's not running up to you on a convention floor and giving you a hug.
Yeah. He's turning you into a kebab.
Fucking kebab. Hello. I know, right? Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie? Well, I'll give you an idea. What was it? What's it?
Rhymes with Pulverine.
Wolverine.
And let me tell you, he's got
a nice pair of smooth criminals down under.
I
mean, come on. It breaks like 8 walls in that moment alone. It acknowledges that Wolverine's a character. And that he's played by Australian actor Hugh Jackman.
Fourth wall break.
Inside a fourth wall break.
That's like 16 walls.
And then cuts away and doesn't even they're like Batman and Robin. Except she's old and black and in love with me. So just like Batman and Robin.
Oh man.
I bet it feels really big in this hand.
I've got, yeah, it's,
I think, and here's a good test, which we should have thought of from step one. I think if you gave the Deadpool movie to someone, you said, watch Deadpool movie, and then you gave them an issue of Deadpool, they would go, yeah, that's definitely the same thing.
I think you'd have to be
Few
very
less inner
careful which issue of Deadpool you gave them.
Well, there's all of different elements, but I'd say anything from like the sort of Joe Kelly era, maybe a couple of the Dan Way stuff, maybe early Dan Way, or any Marvel Now issue. Albeit in that, obviously he's got instead of being in a monologue, he's got a ghost inside him. But yeah, you'd go, this is definitely the same character. This is definitely what I've just watched.
Yeah.
Yay! One dopey superhero makes it onto the list.
We love Deadpool.
Up the bum.
Well, yes.
It's like non-committal yes. So we have our list of 5 comic book movies that nailed it.
I think we should definitely come back to this one.
We should revisit some point. If you guys think there's one we've missed, and you can actually plead your case, like really make a good point for it, don't just say, yeah, why don't you put a Batman movie on there? Because none of them really nailed it.
No.
But they all come pretty close. Well, some of them come pretty close. Well, if you want to tell us what we did wrong, because the internet's like that, isn't it, you bunch of bastards, bigdamncontact@gmail.com. We'll have a look at some of those emails in the next episode. So hop to it, all you massive fans of Elektra.
Hoppity skip. Oh, one of you.
Yeah. Jennifer Garner has emailed in.
I don't think she'd defend it.
Oh God, Scott Pilgrim, V for Vendetta, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dread and Deadpool. Or Dreadpool.
Dreadpool.
Now there's a crossover waiting to never happen.
Oh, it's got to happen at some point, right?
Tell you what else got to happen at some point. It's inevitable.
What?
At some point, some sadistic sods out there are going to ask us a question we don't want to answer. And they've done it again this time. God damn you all to hell! It's time
You
for our...
did it!
You blew it up! Time for our favourite segment.
God damn you all to hell!
And when I say favourite, I mean... Matt and Chris, two lifelong Doctor Who fans, reluctantly answer a Doctor Who question. Now we've been sent a few on Twitter and via email. So I'll hit the emails first because we've got a nice little batch of questions. We might not answer them all, but we'll answer some of them. From our friend and yours, Lewis Christian.
These aren't Doctor Who questions, though.
Oh, some of these are generic questions, but he's also sent us a Doctor Who question as well.
Let's get I've got the Doctor Who question up here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, should we get the generic questions out of the way?
No, we'll do the
charge
Doctor Who questions and then we'll do the generic questions.
Oh, sorry, Lewis.
Because
I'm reading it backwards.
We've now announced the segment. We've announced the Doctor Who segment, so now we have to do the Doctor Who questions.
Who do you think you are? Presenter on a podcast?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Right then. Lewis's Doctor Who question, por favor.
From Lewis Christian.
Whose views we may
or may not
endorse.
Of all the existing stories on televisual, Doctor Who, from 1963 to 2015, which ones would you enjoy seeing the Ninth Doctor in?
Oh, so we just switch out a Doctor to the Ninth Doctor?
Yeah.
To play that part instead.
Interesting. Do we switch out companions as well? Or do we...
tell you what, I guess a condition of that would be, has to be with his respective companions. So it could be Rose or Rose and Jack. Let's say that, shall we? If we switch him out with any of the classic stories. Classic. Let's not say classic Who. Let's say original run. Original run of new run.
Because some of it was shit.
How dare you? Time Lash is a masterpiece. It's a time masterpiece.
Any Colin story.
Oh, no, Colin gets some good stories.
Attack of the Cybermen.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, actually, no, I think it'd be brilliant in Vengeance on Varos, actually.
Do you think so?
I think it has a lot of similar themes to Bad Wolf.
Oh, now you've said it. That was camp. Oh,
now
you've said it.
Now I've said it. Rose slots into the Perry roll. Maybe he doesn't...
Sounds like a weird sushi item.
Maybe Christopher Eccleston doesn't push someone into an acid bath. Maybe he doesn't do that. Let's put that out there.
You won't mind if I don't join you? I'm a murderer! Hey!
I think, yeah, Vengeance on Varos, maybe.
That's a good shout.
Should we try one for each Doctor?
Yeah, go on. Alright. If it's Hartnell, I'd chuck him into the Romans, because I'd want to see him bungle his way through pretending to be the musician.
Hello, we're the Romans!
Plus, hey, I think, considering Jack's going to die horrifically from a Dalek execution, and Rose is going to have her head killing her. My head is killing me. If that's going to happen, stick them into the Romans. That gives Jack and Rose a bit of time, because let's face it, Jack wouldn't, go the way Ian did. It gives them a bit of time to chill out on some lounges with some grapes, wearing togas, while the Doctor gets caught up in some hilarious mishap where he's mistaken for a musician by a psychotic Caesar.
Absolute japes. We're talking April, May and June, fool.
That's right, suckers.
See, Troughton's a tricky one because there's not that many of them around. Do you think
Web of Fear? I want to see him. I want to see him back in London in the underground, complaining about the tube.
What about the War Games? What about his indignancy at what the
War Games would be interesting because the War Games would be interesting because obviously he was born from war and he wants to run away from conflict. But that means he'd have to meet the Time Lords at the end. And what's kind of nice about the Ninth Doctor is he doesn't get the satisfaction of knowing his people are alive.
That's true.
But, okay, do the War Games, but cut out episode 10. Have some other force come
do a version of the War Games.
Yeah, plus watching Eccleston for 10 hours, not a bad thing. It's not 10 hours, it's like 5. Still. Pertwee, 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 dirty little Pertwee, filthy little Pertwee, how are you?
The Green Death. It's an eco slant, and he meets an ally in Cliff that he's initially fractious with because Cliff clearly has designs on Rose.
Yeah.
Or Inferno. Eccleston meeting evil versions of all his mates.
Of all his mates? Yeah, well, he doesn't have that many mates.
And they were all wearing eye patches.
Stick him in the Time Warrior. Have him stranded
Yeah.
in medieval times, once on Tara, and one enemy to fight. Because again, it's an enemy who deals in violence, and he has to talk him out of it. He's got to use his words, because he doesn't want conflict. Plus, that means Rose gets to have the hefty sort of Sarah Jane subplot of, like, they've both got their own kind of plot going on.
I think that's actually an
And then
interesting
they
thought.
converge.
It'd be interesting to see like how these stories would turn out differently with a different Doctor as well. There's got to be a cheeky little sort of a cheeky little sideline of Big Finish audios and that.
Yep.
Get on it, Briggs.
Yeah.
If you've not already, you probably have.
Whatever you do, make it good value for money.
Gotta keep
charge
them
at least
coming.
$29.99 a disc.
Gotta crank up me Big Finish. Gotta keep them coming.
Big Finish. We love money. So of course they do. They're
Tom.
a company. Tom, Tillion, pom, pom, pom. It's Tom. Genesis. I want to see the Ninth Doctor square off against Davros. Considering what he was going to do to that Dalek in the bunker, imagine what he could do if he knew he could stop it.
Very good.
That'll be fun. As for Peter, there's Peter Davison.
Oh,
mint. Black Orchid, if only to make it interesting. Plus, I want to see Jack awkwardly do the Charleston. Just awkwardly moving his feet around for no reason.
Wonderful.
John Barrowman, we're going to make him do the Charleston. Why? Because apparently he can do the Charleston, so we're going to write that in as a plot point, and he's going to do it for 2 minutes. And there's going to be 2 Billy Pipers walking around. There we go.
Caves of Androzani.
And at one point, excitingly, they'll drive to a train station, and then drive away from the train station again. With Eccleston, I think he'd make that interesting. He could bring some gravitas to that absolute pointless story. We said, what did we say? Vengeance for Colin.
Yeah.
Colin. Oh, Colin.
For...
You were the best that you could be.
Well, with Sylvester
the
McCoy,
greatest thing since JNT.
Survival is basically a Ninth Doctor story anyway.
Yes.
If
we fight like animals, we'll die like animals,
Rose! What about Ghostlight?
Ooh. No. Oh, no.
I love Ghostlight.
Shit off. No. I mean, don't shit off. But, you did that before and it was terrifying. Yeah. I was left on my own. Everybody's dead, Dave. Shit, what's the one from Sylvester's first series with Ken Dodd?
Delta and the Bannermen.
Delta and the Bannermen. Because that story again is like, what the hell is going on here?
Fucking mess.
Watching Eccleston deal with that he would just be like,
what's happening?
What the hell is this?
What is this nightmare?
What is this crazy crap? What the hell's going on here? Also, that's the story where Sylvester accidentally gropes a lady's breast. So, watch out for that next time you're watching Delta and the Bannermen.
Well, we say accidentally.
Yeah. Oh, hello. I'm just going to play your spoons.
There's a ferret in there.
Then again, Greatest Show in the Greatest Show in the Galaxy. That's Sylvester, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun with Eccleston. See what party tricks he brings out.
I've not seen Greatest
Just
Show.
starts performing a dramatic monologue instead of juggling things and playing the spoons.
What about Paradise Towers?
No, because I'd still be bored to death. Because there's a great idea in that story. There is a great idea in that story, but Eccleston's gravitas would just highlight even more how stupid Briar's turn is in the last episode. You know, when he's walking around all possessed and shit. Oh, God. Which Paul McGann story should we switch him into?
Night of the Doctor.
The webcomic of Sharda. Yeah, let's not go beyond that because that'd be
Um,
complicated. He could be in any of the modern series stories. Actually, let's put him in every Matt Smith Series 6 story onwards and every Capaldi story because he might then actually save it.
Oh!
Digs.
Not
Taking
at
digs.
Matt Smith or Peter Capaldi, by the way. We
No.
love those guys.
Those two are amazing. They're amazing, and I would
Should we take this to-
Sonic their screwdrivers.
Should we take this to Twitter?
Yes. First one is from Agent Sean Bassett. What's he asking, Matt? What the hell is he bothering us for? Why are you bothering us? It's not like we asked you to send in questions.
Who would win in a fight? The K1 robot or Tegan Javanka?
Tegan should use sonars to blow its head.
He'll be running round and round like a hamster in a
I'm
cage.
never gonna make it to Heathrow now!
In a rickety old TARDIS. You're gonna be in a rickety old TARDIS.
Never gonna make it!
Should just completely blow its head up. That would pretty much be the way it goes. It would be disgusting.
I'm going to Heathrow!
And so simple at the same time. So yeah, Tegan, obviously. Daniel Potter asks a pretty involved question. Daniel wants to know, what are your favourite Doctor Who books? You can have one fiction and one non-fiction, which implies that fact books count, I guess? Favourite Doctor Who non-fiction and fiction book. That is obscure and odd as a question. I don't even know where the hell we'd go with that one. I mean,
Fiction and
fiction-wise...
non-fiction is the weird one because I don't really... I guess you'd have to do the writer's tale?
Yeah. Oh god, well there you go. Yeah, which counts. It has Doctor Who on the
Yeah.
cover. That counts. It's basically...
And like, if you're interested in the production of TV at all, it's just a good book because it goes into the whole depth of how you get a series on screen and the process of making it work.
Plus funny pictures.
And
all
also
the pictures.
Russell T Davies is just a funny guy.
As for fiction, I've not read enough like Virgin New Adventures or BBC books from the 90s.
I've
so
read a whole bunch of them.
I'd probably say Monster Inside from the 2005 stuff. Chris Eccleston and Blatherine and other stuff.
I have a soft spot for alien bodies from the
Dirty
from
Bastard.
BBC Books range.
All right, okay.
Which is a Lawrence Miles joint. But the problem with like Doctor Who expanded media is the same as the problem with Star Wars expanded media, both before the Disney cut and after the Disney cut. A lot of it's a bit shit.
Yeah.
Frankly,
problem with the
not
whole
much to it.
Well, hey, technically, it's just keeping up the tone of what they've actually established with the show.
Hey,
A lot of it's a bit.
so he says, no, this you have to wade through so much guff to get to the gems. And which are out there. Like, there's some real, like, you go, for, like, the Star Wars stuff, for example, you go back and read that original Thrawn trilogy, that's pretty good. But then for every one of those, you've got 10, short story compilations of each character from the Cantina getting their own short story, and...
Because what we need is a webcomic where
God.
Chewie and Han crash the Falcon,
what
and
we
Han
need.
dies there,
It's not
and
what
then
we
it skips
need.
forward several thousand years, and Indiana Jones finds his body. That's a real thing,
That is
by the
absolutely
way,
a real thing.
that exists.
Well, there's the Star Wars
Because
Infinities.
people in the internet have too much time on their hands.
Have you read the Star
Says the
Wars?
sad bastard doing a podcast about stuff.
Have
that
you read the
everyone
Star
talks
Wars
about.
Infinities?
No, because I have a lie.
The Infinities
I
are...
can't even say that lie with a straight face.
The Infinities are 4-issue minis that
Right.
they did, one for A New Hope, one for Empire, one for Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
And they're basically what-if versions of the movies.
Why?
So, Infinities A New
Why?
Hope is all about what if Luke missed the shot.
Why?
Infinities Empire Strikes Back is what if Luke dies on Hoth.
Why?
And...
These are all bleak. What's the
Oh
point?
yeah, they're real bleak. Although...
All of your intergalactic pals are dead.
Infinities with A New Hope does end with Yoda
Yeah,
commandeering the Death Star.
of course.
They're now renamed the Justice Star and crashing it into the Imperial Palace on Coruscant.
I don't know what sickens me more.
It's just nuts.
I don't know what sickens me more. The fact that someone went,
So-
this is a great idea, or that you've read them.
Yeah, so the reason that we've not ploughed through a lot of the Doctor Who expanded universe is the same reason that we haven't ploughed through a lot of the Star Wars expanded universe. It's too much of it, and not enough of it's good. Have you got any more Doctor Who questions?
We've got one amidst
To
this.
reluctantly answer.
Lewis Christian, whose views we may or may not endorse,
Okay.
sent us a little burst of 5 questions, and I think we should answer them toot sweet.
Alright.
Because we're already overrunning,
Oh shit.
and
Alright.
I need a piss.
Hey!
So, hello Chris
Cool.
and Matt, all caps.
Hello.
He's aware of our infinity for infinite hats. That's not a thing. I have some miscellaneous questions for thee both, all things geeky. And at the end of the email it says, love from the ever-lovable Lewis Christian, if that is my real name.
He's
And then
got 6 questions.
in asterisk, loud slurping of pineapple sounds, which I think is a reference to the Five Doctors. Richard Hurndall sucking pineapple. Before the editor goes, oh yeah, we should probably cut to the next scene.
Is that before or after he blows Hurndall's horn?
Goodness me, it's the TARDIS! Christ alive.
Oh, I need to watch the 5
Well,
Doctors.
we'll read his bonus question first. Have you been to any conventions? If so, what's your favourite one? I've been to many. I don't have usually fond memories of them, apart from meets.
There's lots of sweaty people in a really big room, everything's expensive, and you have no idea what's going on.
Getting a photo with Stan Lee was cool, but kind of depressing, in a weird way, which I'll get into another time. Meeting Jason Mewes was awesome, because we chatted for ages. Paul McGann, that was a fun little meet.
Yeah.
And my first ever convention was formerly the GMX, now Manchester Central.
Yeah.
Which was originally Manchester Central. Where me and my little brother bumped into Danny John Jules on his way back to his table, and he chatted with us for 5 minutes.
How was he looking?
That was a cool memory. He's looking nice! His hair's looking nice, his suit's looking nice, he's looking nice.
I'm looking nice.
But yeah, we should just, we'll do you know what, Lewis? Just for you, we'll host a convention just for you. Come on over. We'll charge you £10 a minute to talk to us. We'll do a talk about that time we charged you £10 a minute. We'll do a photo sesh.
We'll sell you some merch from the table at a markup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I'll have a bit of that.
And then we'll send you home with a load of free shit that you're just gonna have to. I mean, you're just gonna set fire to it.
See you there, Lewis.
It's gonna be amazing. £45
Dates to come
pre-order.
soon.
£105 for the gold pass. Here are your 5 questions at high speed. Go. Have either of you seen the new Westworld TV show?
Not yet.
Nope. Are either of you excited for the upcoming Netflix version of a series of unfortunate events? If you listened to an episode not too long ago, yes.
This is last week's episode.
Oh
Very
my
excited.
god, my inner 14-year-old is bursting at the seams. That is a disgusting mental image. Question 3. Which actor who's played the Doctor would make the best Joker if you had to cast one of them? Tennant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
That's undisputed. Who is the best Holly and Red Dwarf? Love it or Hadridge?
Hayridge.
Love it.
Hayridge.
I love Hadridge, but there's something about Everybody's Dead, Dave. Like, just that original
Yeah, it is
delivery.
awesome, but then, like, Hattie Hayridge, not only did she do it for longer,
Look, we can agree to disagree. Queeg.
Queeg is the best Holly.
And
There
question 5, who are you going to call?
we go.
Someone else. was
Anybody else?
That was a Casper
Are
quote.
you going to answer the call?
Tris. No. Oh.
Answer the fucking DVD is taglined as Answer the Call. It's Ghostbusters, Answer the Call. Why is it taglined Answer the Call? No one answers a call in that movie.
Because Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, fucking hell! That was Sony as well, wasn't it?
All you need is kill!
What should we call our movie? I don't know. We'll call it one thing, then we'll call it another thing for the trailers, then it'll come out and no one will know what it is, and then we'll call it another thing when the DVD comes out, so no one knows to buy the DVD. Oh, this money didn't make enough movie. I wonder what this money didn't make enough movie. This money didn't make enough movie. I wonder why.
Well, with my voice shot, my bladder full, and Matthew's brain
I can't speak anymore.
smeared across the walls, I think we should bid you all
Oh, please do.
adieu for this week, at least for now. If you want to get in touch, you know the drill. Big Damn Cast on Twitter, bigdamncontact@gmail.com if you want to send us longer words. We don't respond to GIFs, we do respond to checks. And also, bigdamblog.tumblr.com for everything and anything that we put out there. Is there anything you want to plug in the meanwhile?
My stoma.
My butt. Oh, filthy that.
Let's go.
Let's leave.
I think we've done enough.
Yeah. This is like that newsreader bit where we just banter while the theme tune plays.
I need some papers to shuffle.
I really want to see that.
I'm going to shuffle my keyboard instead.
Slap them up. Why would you do that?
Well, everyone's doing it.
So,